Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you can empathize with me that it's not easy to share a stage after someone talked about corruption and politicians. Mr. Vijayanand was certainly forceful, and I think it reflects what most of us are looking forward to change our country and the way we all work. And the fourth session being about wind, thanks to the organizers, Prashanthi and others, I think we should bring the winds of change. I think we all should contribute in our own way on how to make things better. But there are some issues or some points which he has mentioned, which I certainly would like to delve in the matter of my short speech. But primarily, I just want to use a platform like this, and I try to make myself available when such events take place to try and bring about this feeling among many young Indians, that it's about the fact that politicians are not bad, or like he said, rascals, or we also there are a few of us, maybe we are a handful, but we try to make a little change in the way the government works, in the way we are answerable, in the way we are certainly accountable to making our country a better place to live. So, I mean, I've not had the opportunity to be here since morning, but I'm sure you all would have seen different speakers talk about issues which are very relevant to our country. And while we take pride in the fact that we are one of the most populous democracies in the world, covering 28 states and 7 union territories, we are very multilingual. We are proud to call ourselves the best parliamentary democracy in the world, but we are still way backward when it comes to issues of health, literacy, and most important thing of all, when it comes to the fact that we govern ourselves in a different manner than what most countries around the world do that. In India, when you say government, we only talk of politicians. We all tend to forget that the biggest policy agent in India is the bureaucracy. Politicians receive all the flack thanks to the media and the way people perceive at things. Just to give a little example, what Vijayanand was saying, if you went to take a driver's license today, you would have to pay a bribe. It used to happen, I won't deny that. But government has taken certain initiatives. Some policy measures have taken place. People are beginning to realize that you can very boldly walk into any government office and get what you want. The same driver's license can be available if you apply online, and you need to go there, stand in the queue for half an hour or 45 minutes after you take the time, and get the license without paying a rupee to anyone in bribe. The same death certificate or the same birth certificate, because a lot of software professionals come to me in my constituency when they have to go abroad for a job. Now, if someone comes to me and asks a favor, I'd be very happy to do that. But if someone comes to me through a third person and wants to meet me, then I see a flag there. There has to be an issue, otherwise why would he come to me? Because government is there, it's alive and kicking, it's working, and there are departments and officers who also contribute well to the functioning of the government. So if you go to a municipality and ask for a birth certificate, which is very essential when you're applying for your universities abroad or for your H-1B visas, you would go back to your municipality. Now in a municipality, if you pay 50 rupees additional in a scheme what is called Tatkal scheme, you would get your birth certificate the very next day. Now, I'm not sure how Mr. Vijayanand can get that in 5 minutes, but I know for a fact that it will definitely take about 24 hours for them to verify the records and help you out get your certificate. Now, when he talked about intelligence or when he talked about us being alert, I can humbly tell you all that we also need to know how the system works. We should find out how the system works. Where do you need to go to get your birth certificate? Who do you approach? Is there a counter there? Is there a person sitting behind the counter who will address your needs? There's no point just sitting in our couches watching television and blaming the system, because we're all part of the system. We have to be a tool to improve the system. And that's where I think the real generation of the young Indians will make a difference. Time and time again, people have talked about how in every rupee being spent by the government, just 15 paise reaches the actual beneficiary. Why does that happen? It happens because of the huge mammoth bureaucracy that we carry. It happens because of the layers and layers of bureaucracy that we have. India still lives in the rural areas. It's a fact. 80% of India still lives in rural areas. So by the time this actually goes and reaches an ordinary person, 85 paise of that rupee is being spent. So this is something that we all should start thinking aloud. This is something that we should work to make a difference. I want to use this platform to appeal to all of you very sincerely that there are opportunities for every one of you to try and come into politics. Politics also is a career. I also did my MBA. I also worked for some corporate companies. Then sometime in 2002, I decided that I should try and make an effort to get into government and politics so that I can serve more people. That's how my dream began. 2004, I got elected as a member of the Legislative Assembly from Tenali constituency in Guntur. And for 5 years, I tried my best to reach the ordinary person, the common man. Now, many of you here use the internet. Many of you here have regular seminars or ideas where you can share your views. It's the common man who doesn't get recognized in India. Now, when we as a government or as an elected representative go to the common man, he's got very simple demands. His demands are those 200 rupees pension that he gets every month. His demands are about getting a 2 rupee rice scheme that we have introduced about 4 years ago. His demands are very simply related to getting safe drinking water, not even safe, just drinking water in the area where he lives by, close to where he lives. And most importantly, he just asks for someone who's answerable or someone who we can approach to when he's got a problem. Unfortunately, legislators in India are not empowered to deal with that issue. It's a fact. I have tried in the past to tie up with the ISB and other good management institutions, because I feel that when we represent 200,000 people, we get one support staff. It's physically impossible for a legislator to address the needs of his constituents when he's so severely empowered. It's a fact. I mean, you get one stenographer from the government for every MLA, and we don't even get a phone. So what do we talk about quality service? Quality service that we want to deliver to the people comes from the heart. Most of us work close to about 18 hours a day. We don't have a Sunday off or a festival off, because any day we're supposed to stand there and receive the people and listen to the grievances. But it's a very challenging profession. At the end of the term, you feel very confident and sure that you have reached to many people who otherwise would not have been served. Now, when I went back to my election in 2009, I had this confidence in me, because my entire 5 years earlier when I served to the same people, I approached them with very simple plans. I had no grandiose plans. I said, this is what I will do. I will work better. I'll serve you better. I will be available to you 24 hours a day. And the best I can do for you is to take your issues to the government, fight it out with the Chief Minister, and bring better solutions to my constituency rather than just sit back and blame the government or the system. There are many times when we ourselves as elected representatives feel bad about the system. It's not just you. We feel the government is not working enough. We feel the bureaucracy is not answerable. On small issues like giving a pension to an individual, I might have to make 10 phone calls sometimes with an officer. But that is a real spirit that should be in all of us. We have to persevere. We have to follow up. We have to make sure that what we have asked should be given. And that's where I think all of us should learn that in India, it doesn't work like how the Western world works. We have to do a lot of repeat calls. We have to keep chasing these people for the very same issue that we have reminded them earlier. Now, most of you would probably think that being representative of the country as an Indian citizen would end with just by casting your vote in the election. I think that's very unfair. India has a population of 1 billion plus, and if you look at the data and statistics that we have over the years, 58% of the people vote every time. Of the 58%, 80% of the people in the rural areas vote effectively. In the urban areas, it's a very low 30 to 40% of the people who vote. Now, your connectivity with the government should not end by just exercising your franchise. Please, I think you should realize that we all should continue that spirit. Just by going on D-Day and casting a vote and coming back does not end with choosing a party in power. You should choose the right person. You should choose the right person so that the right government is formed. And that right government should help in taking our views forward and also listening to our problems. Things have changed. I mean, look at the Right to Information Act. It's fantastic. Any citizen can just file a petition and get any information that he wants on the government file. Corruption is certainly an issue in India, but we have to stand up to challenge it. We have to contribute to make a difference. Merely by saying that there is corruption, politicians are corrupt, it's the bureaucracy that's corrupt, will not help us. Let's learn how to fight it. I was coming back to that point of intelligence. Right to Information Act is a wonderful tool by which we can fight corruption. You certainly can access any information anywhere in India. I think it costs about 5 rupees to 10 rupees depending on what kind of information you want. The entire file, including the file notings, will be given to you for you to peruse. That is very critical. There are people who can talk for hours and hours on these issues, but I would like to limit myself to saying that, let's not just be observers. Let us try and make a little change in what we are doing every day. I mean, he was right when he pointed out about making a small change in our family, the way we obey traffic rules, the way we fill up applications, the way we try not to lie. Now, most people want to be corrupt because the person who's approaching them has an immediate necessity. He doesn't want to come back to the office again. He doesn't want to come back 3 or 4 times in a week for the same issue. But government is changing. I mean, I told you about the e-Seva centers that we have in Hyderabad, across Andhra Pradesh for that matter. Anyone can go and pay a bill on any issue, on any department within the e-Seva counter. Look at the Indian Railways. He was talking about a berth. Anyone for a bribe for a berth today. No matter where you are, you can access the Indian Railways website, choose what you want, and get a confirmation. It's the same thing with most departments. E-governance is a big thing today. Like how e-commerce has made a difference in India, I think e-governance in the government setup is certainly make a difference. Now, I, as a Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, I wanted to make my own contribution to the whole system. Like how the German Parliament and the British Parliament have enacted a law, I'm working on trying to make what is called an e-petition. Now, any citizen can send a petition on email directly to the AP Legislative Assembly on issues which he thinks are important. The only rider to that, it should not be an individual petition, like someone wants a house site or someone wants a pension, but it can be an issue related to his area, to his group, or to his village. And we will ensure that the concerned department reacts to it in the most positive manner and tries to address the petition on an immediate basis. There are many initiatives, and I don't want to bore you on that, but I think apart from what the government is doing, it's very, very critical for all of us to wake up and realize that we have to contribute to make the government better. And my strong emphasis to all of you would be on that point is, please also look at politics as a career. Don't just think politicians are bad, and all of you can certainly contribute to making our country a much better place. Do not give up. And when you have issues of corruption like how Vijayanand mentioned to you, today media is a very effective weapon. Use the media. I'm sure you can call up any of the TV channels or any of the reporters who are in the area close to you and tell these guys what's happening in that area. Media can certainly highlight those issues, and the government will react in a most positive manner. Not many of you will realize that by writing a letter to the Chief Minister or to the Prime Minister, you will not only get an acknowledgement of that issue, they will make sure that this issue is addressed at the earliest possible time. So please, for heaven's sake, feel proud of India. Don't feel we are 78 in the world. We're certainly in the top 5 in the world. I think let's make it a better place, and let's all of us contribute to that and come up into the real mainstream politics. Take it as a challenge, maybe at a smaller level, but begin somewhere. Try to live up to it and make India a better place. Thank you so much.